Now, sensors are the most critical hardware in IoT applications and are used to gather information from the surroundings, which comprises of the very first component of IoT that we talked about in the earlier module, that is sensors and devices. Now, we'll talk a little bit upon the different types of sensors and how they are useful to us, and what are the different basic sensors that a neophyte in the field of IoT should be exposed to. Now, sensors capture real time data and then translate this data to a piece of information that can be easily interpreted by other devices. Sensors react to any change, whether that change be in the sound, temperature, electric current, pressure, or humidity, and then report it to your computer processor, which can then take necessary actions. IoT sensors have become quite important as they are quite helpful in improving the overall efficiency, reducing costs, and enhancing the working safety. Let's take a close look at the most important and most common sensors. Number one, temperature sensor. Temperature sensors are devices that are used to sense and measure the amount of heat energy by detecting a physical change of temperature from a source and then converting it into an electrical signal or in a form of data for the device connected to the sensor. These sensors are quite efficient, easy to install, and reliable. Temperature sensors were initially used in air conditioners, refrigerators, and devices which were used in environmental control. But with the help of the IoT industry, these sensors are now used in agricultural, manufacturing, and health industries as well. In agricultural industry, these sensors are used to detect the temperature of the soil, which is a very crucial aspect in the production of the crops. In the manufacturing industry, a large number of machines work at a specific temperature. Hence, temperature sensors are useful there to ensure the optimal usage of the machinery in the manufacturing process. In health industries, temperature sensors are used in anesthesia, delivery machines, ventilators, kidney dialysis machines, blood analyzers, humidified oxygen heater, temperature monitoring and control equipment, digital thermometers, and for organ transplant system, temperature monitoring and control. Some of the subcategories of temperature sensors are thermocouples, resistor temperature detector, thermistors, infrared sensors, etc. LM35 and DHT11 are one of the widely used basic low cost temperature sensors. DHT11 can be used as a humidity sensor as well, where it can also measure the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere. The second category of sensors are pressure sensors. Pressure sensors are used to sense the pressure applied and then convert the sensed pressure into an electrical signal. These sensors also sense changes in gases and liquid. If there is a change in the pressure, these sensors will immediately detect that change and then will share the data with the connected systems in a way that the connected systems can understand and process it. Pressure sensors are highly important sensors and are used in weather forecasting. They are also used as barometric pressure sensors in smartphones and are also used to check any water leaks as well. With the help of these sensors, systems can be made which monitors pressure driven devices. These sensors are useful in manufacturing and in maintenance of water systems since these sensors easily detect any fluctuations or drops in the pressure. BMP 180 and BMP 280 are the two widely used basic low cost pressure sensors, and the latest variant of this BMP series is BMP 388 with some added functionalities. The third category of sensors are proximity sensors. Proximity sensors are used to detect the presence or absence of a nearby object or the properties of that nearby object without any physical contact with the sensor. So, this particular sensor is of high importance, especially during COVID times. The proximity sensor emits an electromagnetic radiation beams such as infrared beams and then tries to detect whether any infrared beams have been returned or reflected. If returned or reflected, this reflected signal is easily read by any electronic device connected with the sensor. There are a large number of applications of the proximity sensors, out of which the most common application of this sensor is used in the cars. On reversing the car, the sensor detects obstacles and alarms due to the presence of any obstacle. Various types of proximity sensors include inductive sensor, capacitive sensors, photoelectric sensors, and ultronic sensors. SI114X and SI1102 are some examples of proximity sensors which are commonly used in IoT. The fourth category of sensors are gas sensors. A gas sensor is a device which is used to detect any change in the air quality. Gas sensors can also detect the presence of toxic, combustible, hazardous, combustible, or inflammable gases. There are a large number of industries such as mining, oil and gas, manufacturing, which use gas sensors. Gas detectors are mostly used in safety systems because they can detect a gas leak in an area. The sensor immediately sends a signal to the microcontroller, which on receiving the signal shuts down the whole system and ensures safety. Gas detectors are quite important because of the presence of some gases like carbon monoxide, which is a very dangerous compound and is odorless and colorless, as well as making it hard for humans to detect. But this gas can be easily detected by these gas detectors. Some of the common gas detectors or sensors are carbon dioxide sensor, hydrogen sensor, air pollution sensor, oxygen sensor, carbon monoxide detector, ozone monitor, beg your pardon, and nitrogen oxide sensor. The fifth class of sensors are smoke sensors. A smoke sensor is a device which is used to detect smoke that includes airborne particulates, gases, and the levels of smoke. Smoke sensors are one of the most used sensors, and with IoT, they have become more effective. Smoke sensors are used mainly in manufacturing industries to detect fire and gas leakage. These sensors help mostly in protecting people working in the environments where usage of gas is very common. There are mainly two types of smoke sensors: optical smoke sensor and ionization smoke sensor. Optical smoke sensor is also known as photoelectric smoke alarms. The sixth category of sensors are infrared sensors. An infrared sensor senses the characteristics present in their surroundings by either emitting infrared radiations or by detecting infrared radiations. Infrared sensors can also measure any heat emitted by an object. Infrared sensors have a variety of use in IoT projects. It can easily monitor the blood flow and blood pressure. Infrared sensors are also used in television remotes. Since infrared sensors can detect heat signatures of an object easily due to this capability of infrared sensors, they are very useful in ensuring high level securities at home. Two different types of infrared sensors are active infrared sensors and passive infrared sensors. Then there is another category of sensors known as the motion detection sensors. Now, motion detection sensor is an electronic device which is basically used to detect any physical movement in an area, and then it transforms the detection of motion sensors into electrical signals. Motion detectors are used in large number of industries. Motion detectors' important use is in the security industry, where this sensor is used as an intrusion detection system, that is IDS. This sensor can also be used as an automatic door control, parking systems, hand dryer application, etc. Some of the important motion sensors are passive infrared, ultrasonic, and microwave. The next class of sensors are optical sensors. Optical sensors are used to measure the physical quantity of the light rays and then convert them into electrical signals. These sensors are also used to sense electromagnetic energy. Optical sensors have many applications. They are used in Xerox machines, in computers, in heart rate monitors, etc. Optical sensors are used to detect the presence of any object since they can easily recognize signs and obstacles. These sensors can also be used to keep track of environmental changes and are used in optical fiber communication. Some of the optical sensors used in IoT are photodetector, fiber optic sensor, pyrometer, proximity, and infrared sensors. The next category of sensors are radio frequency identification modules or sensors. Radio frequency identification, the acronym for which is RFID, is basically a non contact sensor that uses radio frequency waves to transfer the data. In RFID, a digital data is encoded by RFID tags or smart labels and are captured by a reader via radio waves. RFID is just like barcoding. However, RFID has some advantages over the other systems that use barcodes. The most remarkable advantage of an RFID is that an RFID tag can read data outside the line of sight, whereas barcodes must be aligned with an optical scanner. In RFID, data collection involves automatically identifying objects through low power radio waves. Data is sent and received with a system that consists of RFID tags, an antenna, an RFID reader, and a transceiver. RFID tags are also used in several commercial and industrial applications, from tracking items along a supply chain to keeping a track of items checked out of a library. So, these are the different types of sensors that we have in the IoT network and the IoT systems. Now, let us look briefly into what are the other IoT hardware which are a part of the IoT system. Smart wearable devices such as smart memory, smart glasses, rings, and shoes are examples of other IoT hardware, and they are a combination of the basic components of IoT. Smart devices allow us to access more of the content and the resources, and smart devices are basically all the smartphones, tablets, laptops that we have in our homes. Desktop, mobile phones, and tablets are an integral part of the IoT applications. Other network distribution devices like switches, hubs, and routers act as key connectors in IoT applications. We'll talk briefly, if need be, about the same in the following modules.